We are honored to have the most interesting person in Estes Park, Colorado entertain us today, Cowboy Brad Fitch. Take it away, Brad.
Well, howdy everybody, and thank you for being part of the virtual duck race here in 2021. It's my pleasure to be part of this for the Estes Park Rotary Club. And my name's Brad Fitch. You may know me as cowboybrad.com, and I'm here to play some songs for you today. These are all originals. So here's one I wrote while I was climbing Long's Peak years ago. Sitting on the mountain, looking at the world below, I'm resting easy, listening to the breezes blow. I don't know what day it is, and I don't even care, because I'm living with my head up in the air. There's a thunderstorm down in the canyon, and soon it will cover the town. But here I stay dry, sitting way up in the sky, while I watch all that rain pouring down. I'm feeling like a mountain goat, climbing through the snow and feeling sorry for all the people who don't know. Everybody looks for something I don't understand. I'm resting easy, I'm part of Mother Nature's band. A thunderstorm's down in the canyon, and soon it will cover the town. But here I stay dry, sitting way up in the sky, while I watch all that rain pouring down. Take it, boys. Yesterday morning I told you just what I'd be doing by now. I knew I'd be above all of the mess down there in town, so I think I'm gonna stay up here a while. And now I know what John Denver meant by Rocky Mountain High, so I think I'm gonna stay up here a while. Here's one that I wrote a few years ago called Colorado Nights. Colorado nights, far from city lights, and all the world is right. We're howling at the moon, the daylight's coming soon, and bringing me this tune. And it's just like a mystical sign, glowing with all that's divine. I lose my reference of time, knowing that everything's fine. When mountains greet the sun, the new day has begun. The past is gone and done. Face forward to the new. The seasons are the clue, hand in hand with you. And the angels are there day and night, working with all of their might. Though they may be out of sight, until we all get it right. And it's just like a mystical sign, glowing with all that's divine. I lose the reference of time, knowing that everything's fine. Cool Colorado nights, far from city lights, and all the world is right. This song I'd like to play for you all, I think, is appropriate because the theme this year is saluting our first responders. And when I was a boy in Estes Park, in 1976, there was a terrible flood in which nearly 150 people were killed. It was the big Thompson Canyon flood, 31st of July, 1976. Shortly after that day, my mother wrote a poem that was published in the local newspaper. And a few years back, I was doing an album and looking for songs to include and found that, and I put it to music. And this song then is saluting all of our first responders and always played in memory of all those who lost so much in the big Thompson Canyon flood. It was on the 100th birthday of the Colorado state, a day to long remember many came to celebrate. The old big Thompson Canyon was filled with happy guests, residents and tourists, some just stopping there to rest. And the rain came that night and it wouldn't stop, and the river filled to the very top, until it overflowed with the raging flood, and the canyon cried, death and life and blood. Oh, it was then the giant wave, plunging from the top, washed away the road, swept through homes and shops. Rescue teams were working, they were searching day and night, trying to bring survivors from that devastated site. And the rain came that night and it wouldn't stop, and the river filled to the very top, until it overflowed with the raging flood, and the canyon cried, death and life and blood. Oh, on that tragic July evening, a brave hero gave his life. State Patrolman Purdy died so others could survive. He'd headed up the canyon, leaving Loveland's lower ground, alone in his patrol car, warning everyone he found. 'Cause the rain came that night and it wouldn't stop, and the river filled up to the very top, until it overflowed with the raging flood, and the canyon cried with death and life and blood. Oh, well, it looks like Mother Nature claimed the canyon as her own, wanted her big Thompson Canyon, so she took back what she'd loaned. We know her mighty power can bring us joy or fear. Let's pray that she'll stay peaceful for another 1,000 years. 'Cause the rain came that night and it wouldn't stop, and the river filled up to the very top, until it overflowed with the raging flood, and the canyon cried with death and life and blood. This next song is a couple of years old now. For the last 14 years, I have worked 6 months of each year as a wilderness ranger for Rocky Mountain National Park. And it's a unique job. I often get questions from visitors about various types of things which are not within my realm of knowledge or within my job description. So I eventually wrote this song to describe what I and members of the division I'm part of do. And this one's called I'm Not That Kind of Ranger. Hey Ranger, what's that flower? Can you tell me how it grows? Can you lecture for an hour about the columbine and rose? Can you tell me where the elk live and when they change to deer? And why it is the black bears are not the ones to fear? Well, I'm not that kind of ranger, but I'll pull you from a stream. I'll issue you a permit for the campsite of your dreams. I'll help you if you're lost or if you're hanging from a cliff. I'll stop you when you hike with dogs or try to smoke a spliff. Hey Ranger, can you lead me on a hike out in the woods and talk about the history and where the natives stood? Can you sell me an entrance pass for driving my RV and talk about coyotes and all these critters that I see? Well, I'm not that kind of ranger, but I'll warn you about a storm. I climb the highest mountains and I rescue the forlorn. I'll even try and stop you if you threaten suicide. And if you fall and break your leg, I'll take you for a ride. Hey Ranger, what's that rock? And when's it gonna rain? Will Congress give you funding? 'Cause I think they're all insane. May I sign up to volunteer? I'll do most any task. Can you give a presentation on all these questions that I ask? Well, I'm not that kind of ranger, but my job is mighty fun. I climb the highest mountains and I'm handy with a gun. I always do the dirty jobs and always work outside. I repair remote outhouses and patrol out far and wide. Yes, I'm that kind of ranger, and I do my job with pride. Well, I want to thank you all again for helping to support the Rotary Club programs through the Estes Park Duck Race Virtual 2021. This song is one that came about while hiking up in the mountains nearby here. We live in paradise, mountains reaching up to the sky, raging fire down deep inside. This is where we abide. Cool rivers running through the land, gentle breezes through the aspen stand. See our smiles and understand we live in paradise. There's a meadow in the mountains hidden by the trees, where the elk are often grazing in the summer breeze. Wildflowers bloom beneath the sky so blue. I'd never know this place if it weren't for you. Up among the rocks the bears are sleeping in, listening to Mother Nature's sacred hymn. Far above the traffic and the city lights, they live in paradise. We live in paradise, mountains reaching up to the sky, raging fire down deep inside. This is where we abide, with cool rivers running through the land, and gentle breezes through the aspen stand. See our smiles and you'll know why we live in paradise. So let me tell you now how you have touched me deep with the places you've shown me on the mountain steep. The places never spoiled by the road and wheel, all the houses and construction, concrete, glass, and steel. I'm so grateful for the cliffs so very hard to climb. They have kept the sacred places pure throughout all time. Far above the traffic and the city life, they look like paradise. We live in paradise, mountains reaching up to the sky, raging fire down deep inside. This is where we abide. Cool rivers running through the land, or ocean breezes blown across the sand. See our smiles and understand we live